this morning, Steve, and you're right. It is a beautiful morning.
Oh, man, it's a beautiful. Hey, that's why we live in Florida.
Yeah, it sure is. And, I'm one of your subscribers to your alert service.
Yes, thank you.
And, well, thank you. I'm one of your very satisfied customers because you're making me money.
I love
That's
it.
the bottom line.
I love it. I love it. I hope you're a moon lover. I hope you're a moon lover, too, Rick.
Live at TFNN, The Trader's Edge, with your host, Steve Rhodes.
And he's picked out a landing spot that is a good 25 feet above the hull.
There's a good chance he doesn't get this inside the Marco's ball.
Well, here it comes. Oh, my goodness. Have you seen anything like that? This guy's pretty good.
Now, the author of Mastering Probability, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters out there. My, it is so good to be with you here this morning, especially being all powered up, not having any computer problems, knock on some wood out there. And yesterday was a blast. I talk about, how important it is each day to do something that's a little uncomfortable. And for 3 hours yesterday, I guarantee you there was a little bit of uncomfortableness in my seat, if you will, because, my mission, my outcome is absolutely always to deliver a incredible show, for you. Each day I'd like to be able to deliver something even just a little bit better than what it was the day before. But, what's always nice is when you can actually walk the walk. And so what yesterday was really about, when you take a look at it, I always talk about how the universe is going to throw something at you, especially when you least expect it. In fact, when you are, in fact, this is how you should view things, folks. When things are going great, there's going to be some curveball that's going to be thrown at you. It's just how it works. And it's all really about how is it that you're going to deal with it. If you're trading these markets, I promise you, whether you're on the long side or the short side, there's going to be a curveball that's going to be thrown at you. That's why we use stops. It's why we use money management systems here. But there's also that psychology of it. Even though we talk about using stops in money management, there's really a very few folks that actually do it. There's people that will talk about using mental stops, if you will, as if whatever they're trading, when it gets to a certain point, they're going to be able to pull the trigger. The reality is, folks, use physical stops. Actually put them in. Use them. It's so important. But, look, I absolutely love being here with you. This is my favorite time of the day. Thanks for joining me here. You can watch us on TFNN, TigerTV. If you're listening to us on the radio right now over on the West Coast, thanks so much for doing that. We really appreciate it. Hopefully all the folks that are catching this show up in New Hampshire on the archive, it's still amazing. Still, I think, 1 million or 2 folks that are without power, without energy. Being I'm not a Florida native. I originally grew up in Detroit, but I've been down in Florida for 30 years. Well, not 30 years, 83. How much was that? 27 years or so, 28 years. How's my math? And but I almost feel like a native, if you will, and certainly have been without power for days on end. You get tired of using that generator to power up a few lights, of course. So maybe if you got a bigger a bigger generator, you actually have your whole home powered up. So sorry for all the troubles that you go through, but those are the curveballs, right? Those are the curveballs that the universe just throws at you, and you can turn those into really positive events as well. And you always should. Folks will say, either myself or Tommy, I talk to all kinds of clients and other subscribers or folks that are dealing with Tiger Metal Exchange, and, it seems to be a constant theme. How is it that you guys stay so positive? It's a choice, folks. It's absolutely a choice. You can, just like when you're taking a trade, you can either take the long side or the short side, and life is just a choice between whether or not you want to take a positive outlook, even on something negative that happens to you. Do you want to take a positive outlook? Now, I talk about, maybe a little bit about my background. Yesterday, because of being without my system, if you will, I told, a few of my stories. I told just a little bit of my NASA story. I was fortunate enough back in the early 80s to be able to take this gold tour of the entire NASA's facility. That's because I was there to help them automate so much of what they had going on inside their business environment. My company, we passed on that. But I've got a lot of different backgrounds, things that I've done in my background, in my past, so that I actually am able to walk the walk. I know what it's like to come from nothing. I know what it's like to have to make a payroll and have your head bouncing next to the wall, if you will, being that close to bankruptcy, if you will, sweating it out, making sure, that you're trying to get paid from your customers. I know about all of those things. I've had all of those experiences, and I love being from Detroit. Detroit's a great place to be from. I think Florida is Detroit or Michigan's lower peninsula, if you will. But, what I want to talk to you about, certainly, and I do on this show here, you can always call me, 877-927-6648. But what I really like to do is talk about some of the dangerous trends that simply impact your ability, people's ability to create wealth out there. And when I talk about creating wealth, one of the things that you need to do is you need to take a look at wealth and treat it as a business. When you're out there trading, folks, you need to be able to take wealth and treat it like it's a business. I'm going to get rid of, but watch this on Tiger TV, I'm going to get rid of this beautiful picture of Lanai, Hawaii that I've got up, my favorite spot on the universe. But, I talk about positive expectancy, but when you're trading, it is so important to treat it like a business. Now, that being said, I don't know how many of you are entrepreneurs out there. I'm a serial entrepreneur. That's really all I've done my entire life. But see, to me, that was a decision. Even when I worked for somebody, even when I worked for somebody in a firm, even when I was working just in a CPA firm, I wasn't a partner in the firm. I was just a little guy, if you will. But I still treated the way that I came to work, the way that I approached everything was really from an entrepreneurial spirit. That's just simply, I remember my dad and I, when he was alive, we would talk about, ideas. I remember 40 years ago, we were talking about how wouldn't it be cool to be able to have a Christmas tree with the lights that are already, plugged into it, if you will. And we tried coming up with ways. Now, LEDs weren't available 40 years ago, if you will. But now, you walk through stores, whether it's a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a Christmas store, and, maybe even some of you folks out there have the Christmas trees where you take it out of the box, you open it up, and boom, you got lights, if you will. And so I've always been a visionary. We talk about the importance of being a visionary. Well, when you talk about creating your own business and money management, managing through these markets, no matter how much fear is out there, no matter what they talk about in the press, no matter what John Corzine did or didn't do, no matter what MF Global did or didn't do, there's ways to be able to trade these markets so that you can absolutely put a competitive edge on your side. But that first thing that you've got to understand about opening up a business is that most businesses, 80% of businesses, in fact, this is statistics out. This is statistically proven. 80% of businesses won't last 1 year. You see it. You see restaurants that open up. You'll see restaurants that open up in a place where another restaurant has failed. In fact, there are some locations that no matter, it seems like what you put in there, they just simply fail. You're better off bulldozing that building and starting over. Really, quite frankly, you're better off looking for a different location, right? It's all about location. You're in the right location here. If you're trying to take and find another gear in your trading environment, you're absolutely in the right location. But when you take a look at business and starting a business, now I want you to always think about your trading and your investing as a business. In the first year, folks, when you really take it seriously, 80% of folks that are going to do this are going to fail. What do you think about that? How about over a 5-year period of time? Over a 5-year period of time, 92% of the folks will actually fail. So only 8% of people actually succeed in any business it is that they start. That's kind of a sobering statistic. And for all of you that have been out there, that have been trading, that have gotten past that, congratulations to you. Absolutely. And you know what you've had to endure to get to where you're at. It doesn't matter whether it's trading the markets or whether it's some business that you started. You know the tough times. You know what you had to go through. But here's another side of that statistic. Do you realize that if you bought into a franchise, what do you think is the success rate if you bought into a franchise? It's 92%. The failure rate if you start your own business is 92%. The success rate if you buy into a franchise, folks, that's 92%. So how do you transcribe that thought process, that actual statistic that's out there, that is actuality, real numbers out there. How do you go ahead and maybe transfer that over into the trading business? Well, here's the way that I take a look at it. I've spent the last 25 years, if you will, whether it's been using coaches like Tony Robbins, Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, and others, creating what I'll call my franchise, my thinking, my mindset. When people, I absolutely am unique. I think differently than others. And that's what you need to do if you're trading the markets. You absolutely have to think differently. So I've created a franchise of thought, if you will, that absolutely helps me to achieve many things. How many folks out there do you think actually owned and operated a retail store inside the Disneyland castle? Walt Disney's, first core thing that he built. I used to watch people walk into that store, and not only were they in awe of the product that I had there, but when they realized it was actually an independent donor, then they were like, how did that guy get to do that? Do you think I was just fortunate or was just lucky? Or was it a matter of that, I had a certain work ethic, I worked hard, I had the visualization process, whether it was in business or whether it was in trading. And folks, when you're here at TFNN, this is the franchise. This absolutely is the franchise. And if you are seriously taking a look at, you want to get into the trading business, you are in the right place. And one of the things that you should do is you absolutely should try out the different services that we have here, whether it's Tom's or whether it's Basil's or David's or mine. You absolutely should do it. You can try some out for 2 weeks. You can try mine out for 30 days, folks. But it's all about understanding how you want to be able to have the right mindset, the mindset that the most powerful, that the most successful, that the happiest achievers on this planet, that they actually also walk the walk. I can tell you, Tom walks the walk, I walk the walk. I'm no different when I'm here in front of you right now than when I am off the air. And those folks that have had the chance to meet me, that's absolutely the way that you have to approach things. And it's so important. We'll go to the markets today, and you call in. I'm on the air for this program. Then you've got Tom and I doing the Money Masters. But what I really like to do, and the feedback that I've got, is during this first 20-minute segment, the most part of this 20-minute segment, is to help you with a mindset and a thought. I talk about how when you wake up in the morning, you've got to visualize what it is that you want. I want you to visualize when you go to your chair and you sit down in your chair. And first, I want you to get in that peak state. I want you to get your shoulders back. I want you to breathe differently. But I want you to think about it. If you're going to really play this game and take it seriously, you need to be able to use tools. You need to be able to use the money management tool that I've actually put up on your webpage, your members page. How many of you out there have actually watched that? How many of you haven't watched that? And why? What is it? Tonight you're going to watch what on television? Dance with this guy or that gal? I don't know, Survivor, is that on tonight? Or Married with Children, or whatever the television show is? You really believe that is more important than going and spending 50 minutes to understand the money game? Folks, treat this. This is a business. Treat it like a business. Go over, check out that thing check out the position sizing webinar on your homepage. It'll be worth your time. 877-927-6648. We get back, we'll go take a look at the markets. We'll see what's popping and what's dropping.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today. Click Investments Newsletters and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
looking for some extra cash to help pay off some of your bills? Let Tiger Metal Exchange convert your unwanted jewelry to cash. We pay out 80% of the market price for gold. Our payouts are the highest in the industry, more than double our largest competitors. And we've created the safest, easiest, and most straightforward process for converting your jewelry to cash. Log on to TigerMetalExchange.com and get your free scale, your free eye loop, and get the cash you deserve now. We provide a free online calculator that converts your jewelry to cash at up-to-the-minute spot prices. We insure your items for up to $75,000 per shipment free of charge. We videotape the entire valuation process so that you can view it online. You can call us toll-free at 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. Let Tiger Metal Exchange put more cash in your pocket without ever leaving the comfort of your home. Join the list of thousands of satisfied customers and go to TigerMetalExchange.com. It's the only click you need to make. Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Don't forget, you can test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. Thanks so much for joining me. I absolutely love being here with you. You have no idea. And I love being here with you when everything is kind of powered up and is working, because I know I can deliver a better show. Give me a call if you want me to take a look at some stock or ETF or currency. Right now you've got the futures are up. You've got the Dow futures up. You got everything is up, so expect a positive open. And, one of the things we talk about, the franchise, if you will, that Tom has actually built here, part of that franchise is the den, is the Tiger's Den, and it's an area, it's a group of, it's a peer group, if you will. And there's no question in my mind, as I take a look back at how I've always found another gear, it's always been by expanding your peer group. You don't need to leave others behind. In fact, what you really should be doing is pulling others along with you. And because that's really what this is all about. It's about growth, and it's about contribution. And who else should you contribute to but all the ones that are in your life? And then you can start contributing to those that you want to have in your life. And that's really what the Tiger's Den is all about. You should give that a try as well, because you've got a group of traders in there that are going to provide you with great information, and feedback. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. It's really there. It's always going to be about how you interpret things. Now, when we talk about chart patterns, that's always about how we interpret things as well. Sometimes I might take a look at something on a chart, and maybe you're seeing something a little bit different. And that's really what's cool about it, because visualization, and I'll talk to you maybe later in the show, being from Detroit, I've got some cool stories about Henry Ford, and about, I really believe that right now, that the money piece of the game, that what it is that we're doing, I believe that this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Just as it was when Henry Ford, built his cars. You know that, talking about businesses, talking about 80% of businesses going out in the first year, I'm assuming that you know that Henry Ford's first business that he started went bankrupt, right? His first, and absolutely did. And, I think his first backer was Thomas Edison. And that business went bankrupt. Do you realize the second car company that he started had to close down. Actually, it was bought by a guy named Cadillac. Of course, it was bought by Cadillac. It was his third try, folks. Third try is a charm. So if you have failed at this money game, and you have respect for Ford and what he built, and, you know, that business is worth $180 billion, or maybe it's just his own personal fortune, if you will, that's been spread out amongst his family and so forth. If he could do it, and he could fail, learn from your failures. Don't, you know, learn the lessons, folks. Don't just simply say you can't do it. You know, pick yourself back up. Now, from the Den, so speaking of the Den, there was a message asked me if I could go ahead and take a look at the OIH out here. So the OIH, which is the Oil Services Holders Trust, if you will, traded at 122.96 last night. And what you've got out here, and you're going to see these all over the place, you've got these island reversal patterns, and they're really a very bearish pattern. We'll be curious to see with the futures up this morning how all of these are going to trade, whether or not there's going to be some ships that are going to come over to the island and pick up the folks that are stranded out there. And when I talk about an island, folks, what I'm looking at here is where you've got a void of price between, in this case here, happens to be a void of price between October 26th, where the OIH traded up to a high of 126.65. The following day, it opened up at 132, so you have a void of price there. If you're watching this on Tiger TV, you can visually see that. And then yesterday, what it did was it gapped down. So you've got this big, huge open window up there, and what it's done is it's created this little island, if you will, island of investors, of shares that traded during that time period. How many shares? Well, there were 3.6 million shares on the 31st. There were 3.4 million on the 28th, and on the 27th, 9.2 million shares. So you got a lot of shares that are stranded up there, and the boat has sailed away. And, you know, maybe they're not feeling too bad right now. You know, there's still a little rum punch around there. There's still some beers being served. But the question is, you know, if the boat continues to move away from there, they're going to run out of supplies. And as that moves down, and that's why you want to have stops in place, because, folks, if you were one of those shareholders that bought into the OIH, at 135.39 on October 28th, and right now it's trading at 122. I don't know what's the difference there. Is that about 10%? You would already be down 10%, yet you're still at the party. You'd be wondering what it is that you want to do. That's why you want to have stops in place, and you want to understand these patterns that are up on your screen here. So where could the OIH, and what you see prevalent in all these markets, are you see these high volume lows out here from October 4th. You see it in basically everything. And what we know about high volume lows is eventually they'll be tested. Will that occur on this move as the markets go up and down? It's possible. But when you take a look at that low and you take a look at the OIH, the high of that low is 102.64. The low there's $95. You got to have a stop in place. When we get back, maybe we'll dig into this a little bit further. We'll go take a look at the markets, how things are trading worldwide, or give me a call at 877-927-6648. Love being here with you, folks. We'll be right back in just a few.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
Homeowners, did you know a burglar could break into your home and get away in just 5 minutes? A locked door may not be enough to keep a thief out of your home. Think about what you can lose, and then think about this. Now you can get a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Pick up your phone now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, at 1-800-949-8207. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. So call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-949-8207. $99 installation charge. 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 a month. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now. 1-800-949-8207. That's 1-800-949-8207.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading the gold market. If you're an investor in gold or any of the gold mining equities, this newsletter is an essential tool that can help you become a better trader in the gold market. The Gold Report comes out every Monday with complete coverage of the entire gold market, including the XAU, HUI, the dollar, the bond, the rand, more than 40 different mining equities, as well as some of the most popular precious metal ETFs, including the GDX and the SLV. For as low as $75 per month, you can gain access to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report that will help you take advantage of investment opportunities at the current historic gold price levels. To order your Gold Report today with a free 30-day trial subscription, log on to TFNN.com or call our office directly at 877-518-9190.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. Thanks so much for joining us. And the markets are open. We are off to the races. You got the Dow in the lead, up 1.3%. It's up 158 points right now. The composite up 32. The S&P's up 19. Small caps up 13. Everything's up about 1.5 points, right in that range. And what I've got up on my screen here is I've got the Dow chart. So let's go take a look at the Dow chart. Take a look at where we're at with things here so that we can put this into perspective here. Because, you know, these chart patterns, these candle formations, they're really helpful to understand what's going on inside the markets. There's other tools, you know, that folks use out there. I want to go ahead and show you these tools here. Now, what I've got up on my screen, and on the Dow, you know, there was this nice head and shoulders pattern that was created out here. And what I've got, this blue line represents the neckline, if you will. And on the neckline, what typically happens in a head and shoulders pattern, when you've moved through it, when you've moved through that neckline, is you'll come back up at some point in time and test that. What's really wild, what's so cool about this chart pattern here, and I've got to move, some of these things aren't exactly anchored, so let me just kind of move this in here a little bit. But what's so cool about this is how it actually came up and really tested that area. It tested that area when we had that big relief that the European Union had figured out all their problems out there, and we had that big up day on the 27th. And where the Dow got to was 12,284.31. When you're taking a look at that neckline, you're not looking for an exact number. You're looking to be within a certain range. But what you can see here is just simply the line that I've got on my chart. You can see how it hit that area. And then the next day, folks, and yes, there is a little bit of an exhaustion because there was a big, huge race that was run the day before. When you had that big move, you had a lot of energy. But, you know, you could also see that you were losing steam. You know, there wasn't a lot of steam that next day at all. You know, you're talking about you had this little spinning top, if you will, this little small body. And it actually looks like a spinning top where you got the small little body and then you have a 2 wicks. One just extending a little bit up on the top and a little bit up on the bottom, actually called a spinning top. And what happens, it got up to that area and then it moved down. So when it was moving down, where was it moving down to? Well, it was moving down to the first area from a candle standpoint, the first area of what used to be resistance and now became support. And when we take a look at that area, there's really 2 bearish engulfings that I want you to look at. The first one is on the 1st of September. And what happened is the body of that candle engulfed the day before, the session before. Might not have been the day before. In this case, it was. It was August 31st. You then had a second bearish engulfing occur, and that was on the October 17th time frame. So that was over a weekend. If you take a look at what that did was that engulfed the Friday session from October the 14th. And if you just take a look at the tops of those areas, I've got red lines being drawn across from those. That really became an area of what was support. And once we, came through there, you came through that on the 21st, and you came through with a pretty decent candle. Pretty wide price spread, with some conviction. Forget about the volume, but just look at the candle. You certainly had more buyers than sellers. In fact, you opened and you opened at the lows, you closed at the highs. Just nothing but really one green bar. Told you had some strength. Market moves up, comes back down a couple days and tests that area, which now became an area of support, if you will. Well, what does the market do in the last 2 trading sessions, not including today? It comes right back down to that area of support. Now, it's coming down with conviction. We'll go take a look at the diamonds at the ETF that's out there. This is coming down with conviction. But what it does is it still comes down with conviction, and it stops right there at support. Now, what you've got to be concerned about, if you're a bull, you've got to be concerned about breaking that area of support, because once you break through there, that's going to become an area of resistance. Doesn't mean that's what has to happen. Maybe things are fixed. If maybe the dollar is not going to continue to go higher, maybe Europe is going to be able to sell those bonds. Oh, they put wait, in my ear. They're telling me that they're not going to be selling those bonds, that they've delayed selling those bonds maybe for a week or 2. Oh, that's interesting. 877-927-6648. Folks, give me a call. Got the Dow up 150, S&P's up 17. We'll be right back.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today. Click Investments and Newsletters and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of The Money Game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how. At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650. I should get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
And very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by South American Silver Corporation. For more information, just click the South American Silver Corporation banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. And absolutely, you want to stay tuned today. We got a great lineup for you. Following this show, you've got Tom and myself doing the Money Master Show. I love doing that show. We get such great feedback, from it. And thanks for listening. And, look, we're all building a franchise here. And we love just simply giving unconditionally. But if you could help us to just simply grow our business, that would be so great. And all you need to do is just simply tell a friend or a family member to turn into the show, whether it's this show here at 9 o'clock or the archive or the show that Tom and I do, or after that you've got Basil Chapman. Then from 12 to 1 you got Larry Pesavento. I mean, what a great lineup that we've got here on Wednesday. My favorite days, Mondays and Wednesdays. Here at TFNN, Monday, because you got the weekend and what all happened out there. What are we seeing, in the markets as we scanned our charts? And talk about scanning charts. David White, he's got and Tom here, the new software package, The Art of Timing the Trade, actually scans through charts, most of the trading stocks that are out there, 3,000 plus stocks that are trading, looking for these Gartley and butterfly patterns. And you want to talk about a time saver, folks. And when you go take a look at these Gartleys and butterflies and see, you want to make that a part of your franchise, a part of your business. So you should check out that software, absolutely, especially even if you have existing software. Look, I use 3 different charting packages when I am taking a look at charts. Do you realize, I said you got to treat this like a business. Can you imagine opening up a restaurant and not having the right knives, the right tools, the right refrigeration system, the right food, the right product? How could you possibly succeed at anything that you do without the right tools? How can you succeed without the right education in this business? How can and you really should want to be able to do this and take the step. In most cases, like in my case here, you're putting down a credit card for 30 days. You got a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee just to test out my services, my tools, if you will, as part of the franchise. You got the same thing, with regard to Tom's or the Gold Report. Talk about, here's a guy that absolutely is beyond an expert. I don't know what level it is when you get beyond an expert, but Tom is beyond an expert when it comes to the gold companies that are out there, gold itself, the metals, and an absolute expert, folks. And you should own the Gold Report. There is no reason. There's absolutely no reason. It pays for itself, if you will. It's a tool, and there's an education that's inside the mind. It helps you get from 0 to 60 as fast as it can be. When we take a look at the markets here that are open right now, yeah, you've got the Dow up 150, but when we start taking a look at conviction behind the move here, it's not here yet. It's pretty amazing that you've got the Dow up 154 right now, and when you take a look at the volume that we've had, and what I've got up on my screen here is the Dow Diamonds, the DIA. You take a look at the volume. When this thing opened up, it opened up with 107,000 shares in the first 5 minutes. The next was 136,000 shares. After that, you have 92,000 shares. We've got, now we're just in our next 5-minute session here. You don't have any volume behind this move. Yesterday when it closed, now, you've got all the hedge funds, and maybe you've got some quant funds, maybe you've got, but still at the close you did 1.3 million shares yesterday. And, so there's no volume right now, no conviction behind this move. Does that mean that the market can't move higher than this? Of course it doesn't. But right now, folks, there's no conviction behind this move. It's similar to probably like Greece. There's no conviction behind them actually wanting to take the deal that they've got that's out there. So that's what's going on in diamonds. Let's take a look at some of the other ETFs on a short-term basis here. Since the market has only been open for 16 minutes, let's go take a look at the small caps. That's the IWM folks that you would trade out there. I've got this on a 10-minute time frame. Let me switch this here to a 5-minute time frame. And on a 5-minute time frame, again, you can see the high volume bar at the close yesterday, 5 million shares. So what do we open up with today? You opened up with 1.8 million shares. The next 5 minutes, 1.8 million shares. Then the following, 874,000 shares. You're losing steam here pretty early on in the game. Hey, only 16 minutes in the trading session. That first 30 minutes, what I call the opening range, is one of the most important areas for you to watch because it helps to set the tone of the day. If you just go back and we take a look at this 5-minute chart, just to give you an example here, and what I would do here, I'm just going to go back to yesterday's action. So I'm going to draw my bar from the low that was made during that first 30 minutes, happened to be at the open yesterday, and then the high that was made during that same session. The high during 10 o'clock would have been right here, and you can see that what happened was during that last, at 10:05, it got over the high of that opening range. The high of the opening range would have been at the 10 o'clock session, and I go right to the 10 o'clock, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. I don't give it an extra minute after that. That's just simply where I draw my opening range. Now, the high at 10 a.m. was at 72.15. It did 1.1 million shares. What does it do during that next session? Gets up above that with 2.6 million shares. Okay, there's a little bit of conviction, if you will, when you take a look at the opening range here. It trades just a bit higher. How much higher? You know, if we just simply take my little tool ruler here, my line tool, if you will, and I'm just going to measure the distance from the high to the low, and I'll just move that from the low during that bar to the high again. And what you'll see is it made a similar move, almost an exact move. When I go to the low during that last session there to the high, it came right to the area right here where the IWM, when it had bounced up yesterday, bounced up to the 72.93 area. Oftentimes, you know, as far as breathing patterns, they'll repeat themselves. In this case here, that's what the IWM did. And then when it came down and tested the top of that opening range, it tested it with 968,000 shares. It was going into 1.1 million shares, you know, using that criteria, if you will. And so we came through there. We didn't come through there really with any kind of conviction if you take a look at the volume as was going through there. And so what does it do? It goes back up and it tests that high area, you know, and trades off and sells down to the low. But you can see how, you know, you want to understand that opening range. There wasn't all the power inside yesterday's move was really at the open. And oftentimes you'll have a day like that. If you're a day trader, you know, there wasn't necessarily a lot to really trade here. You were looking for some conviction. You would put your stops. In this case here, if you were trading, you thought this was a breakout at 10:05, and I can see where you could qualify that. You'd have your stops somewhere underneath that low. But you'd have to start to identify, okay, where would this thing start moving to? But you really want to understand the opening range. You want to understand the conviction behind any move if you're just trying to identify what's going on in the markets. In my case, when I take a look at these markets, and if I just pull up the diamonds here, let me change this. This is the, no, that was the IWM. I'll go back to the diamonds when we get back from break, or give me a call, 877-927-6648. You got MasterCard up $27 right now. That's up 7.8%. And it looks like down $14 is DMND. We'll be right back, folks.
As Tom says, go long America. Now you can join TFNN and Barnes & Noble to keep money in your community. Purchase Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, before December 31st from your local Barnes & Noble store. And you will be given access to not just one, but two exceptional archived courses. Tiger Scaling, The Tiger Butterfly, and Gartley. The Art of Timing the Trade is more than just a book. It's an educational journey that will help you understand the Wall Street greed cycle and learn how to recognize profit from genuine price moves. So, for the cost of just under $30, you will receive in excess of $300 in trading education from Tom O'Brien, TFNN, and Barnes & Noble. And you will be helping to support an important local business, your local bookstore. If you do not have a Barnes & Noble in your community, then go to your local bookstore. We'll be sure to work with them to keep your purchase local. So let's support our local businesses, keep money in your community, and get a great education. But be sure to act now, because you have until December 31st to take advantage of this opportunity. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio. Therefore, we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Great Basin Gold is a mining company engaged in the exploration and development of 2 emerging gold properties in Nevada and South Africa with a total resource base of more than 23 million gold ounces. Great Basin's Burnstone mine in South Africa opened in February of this year with a resource of 20 million gold ounces, becoming the first mine to open in the historic Witwatersrand Basin in the last 30 years. The Burnstone mine is projected to have a 25-year mine life and is fully financed, with production anticipated to be over 250,000 ounces per year at a cash cost of only $450 per ounce. The Hollister mine in Nevada became fully integrated in the 4th quarter of 2010 with annual production estimates of 110,000 ounces of gold per year over the 8-year mine life at a cash cost of only $527 per ounce. Great Basin Gold is cash flow positive and trades on the Toronto and New York stock exchanges under the symbol GBG.
Now is the time for Tiger Dollars. Purchase $250 or more before November 4th and receive a 30% match. Go to the front page of TFNN.com and get your Tiger Dollars today.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. Thanks so much for joining me and spending your morning with me. Now, I'm going to circle back to the OIH, since that was one of the things that we covered during the second segment. And when you're trading these ETFs, one of the things that you want to do is you want to understand what's inside them, because oftentimes when you take a look at these exchange-traded funds, you know, in this case here, this is the oil service sector that we're looking at, you'll find that usually maybe about 10 of those stocks are going to represent a significant portion, many times more than half of the entire index in its weighting. And so it becomes very easy for you to take a look at what's going on with inside that index from a trading standpoint, because what I do is I just simply take out a spreadsheet. Love spreadsheets ever since they came out with the Apple II and VisiCalc 30-some-odd years ago, 32 years ago, I think it was. And what I like about that is on a spreadsheet I list the top 10 holdings, what their weighting is, and then I just simply a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a neutral. Is it positive, negative, or neutral? You know, and then maybe I'll put a description off to the side. What pattern is it completing? Because then when I do that, I can then make a better assessment on taking a look at the strength or weakness with inside and the direction. Then, you know, it's really a matter of just trying to understand what's the direction of the market that you're trading. Because if you get the direction of the market that's trading and you get the direction that the OIH, in this case here, is trading, you're then, you're trading with the trend, if you will. The trend can be your friend. So you want to take a look at that. Now, SLB, which is Schlumberger, is the biggest holding inside the OIH right now. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but one of the things, so when we take a look at the OIH here, and what I'm tying this into is we were taking a look at the Dow chart. We were taking a look at those bearish engulfing patterns and how those turned from what at one time was resistance into support levels. When we take a look at SLB, you can take a look at this bearish engulfing that it made on September the 1st. And August 31st was an important day from a trading standpoint, and what the candle did on September 1st, it totally engulfed that little doji-looking candle, if you will, on August the 31st. So what that set up was really a line of resistance, if you will, because it continued to trade lower. Now, what SLB did was it came back up to test that area. And forget about the volume. With regard to the volume, there was 11 million shares when it traded that day. No, let's not forget about the volume. Traded at 11 million shares on the September 1st. Came back up and tested that area with 18 million shares. So it had the volume to get up into that swing point, but it just shows you the power of that candle, of that bearish engulfing candle. That's a bearish sign. And then what does it do the next day? Comes back and tests it with 10.3 million shares. Still had a decent enough volume to go up there and test it. What did it do? From there it said, no, I'm not going to bust it up. I'm not going to bust that candle pattern formation that's up there. That really is a resistance area now, because you've gone up there and you've tested it even with volume. And, when you're trading the OIH, you're going to want to take a look at what's going on inside Schlumberger, SLB. And you want to do that with any of the ETFs that you trade. So right now you've got the Dow up 128, the small caps up 10, the S&P's up 15. Let's go take a look at the dollar index here. Let's see what can we learn from the dollar index. It's trading a little bit lower this morning, after one heck of a run. The last 2 days up there, King Dollar is absolutely alive and well. Now, I'm looking at the dollar chart. I'm looking at the continuous contract on my screen. And I have a tool in my software package that really draws the angles between swing points. And swing points, folks, are nothing more than where you make a directional change in the market. In this case here, what's an interesting swing point is the one from September 15th. The low on the dollar index there was 76.09. You can see that from the low of that candle to the low that the dollar made on October 27th was a 1.272 expansion. What you can also see is that the retracement that it made from the low on August 17th was a 786 area. You had two sacred geometry numbers coming together at the same time. That, folks, that's a beautiful thing. Just like you, thanks so much for being here with me, folks. You've got an amazing power within yourself. Stay tuned for Tom and I. We'll be up in about 8 minutes, and see you in just a few.
For some extra cash to help pay off some of your bills? Let Tiger Metal Exchange convert your unwanted jewelry to cash. We pay out 80% of the market price for gold. Our payouts are the highest in the industry, more than double our largest competitors. And we've created the safest, easiest, and most straightforward process